There are words that can open doors, and others that close them without you realizing it. For centuries, 5 sacred words have been hidden in plain sight, mentioned in ancient texts and now supported by modern science. They are keys capable of transforming your reality. If you do not yet know them, you might be blocking everything the universe has reserved for you. This is not only about what you say out loud but also about what you whisper in your mind when no one else is listening. These words are sacred codes, secrets of mystics and sages, and today you are about to discover them. If you learn to use these words correctly, everything you desire will start coming to you, not by luck, not by chance, but because you will be speaking the language of the universe. The power of the word has long been an open secret. As Jacobo Grinberg suggested, language does not just describe reality, it creates it. The question is, how can you use this power in your favor? Imagine that everything you experience, see, and feel is not pure reality but an interpretation built by the words you were taught. That is, you do not see the world as it is, but as you were told it is. When you understand this, you realize why so many people live trapped in invisible limitations. Our mind is not just a processor of information but a shaper of reality, and the bridge between our consciousness and the divine structure of the universe is language. Every word you pronounce has a vibration that directly affects your energy field. In other words, what you constantly repeat becomes the vibration you emit, and the vibration you emit determines what you attract. There are specific words that work as cosmic keys, and today I am going to share 5 of them with you. When you incorporate these words into your daily life, everything starts to change. The way you relate to the universe, how you manifest your desires, and, above all, your connection with the divine power that dwells within each of us. These are not common words, not simple affirmations. They are vibrational codes that define your reality and determine what you will attract into your life. They are the same words that have been used in sacred rituals, mentioned in ancient texts, and which, thanks to the modern understanding of quantum physics and consciousness, we can now fully comprehend. To truly understand the power of these words, we must go back to the beginning of everything. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. This phrase, beyond its traditional religious interpretation, contains a profound metaphysical truth. The creative power resides in the Word. The Bible, seen from its esoteric dimension, reveals secrets that transcend literal interpretation. When we understand that sacred scriptures contain hidden codes, we begin to see beyond the surface. It is no coincidence that in Genesis, God creates through the Word, and God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. This is not just a creation story, it is a teaching about the vibrational power each of us possesses. When we speak of the divine power of words, we are not referring to a religious practice, but to a sacred science that has been preserved through the ages. To receive this knowledge, it is necessary to prepare oneself spiritually. It is not about memorizing the words or repeating them mechanically, but about understanding that every word we pronounce is a seed we plant in the infinite field of possibilities. Just as God created the universe through the Word, we create our reality through the words we choose. Modern science is beginning to validate what mystics have always known. Reality responds to our consciousness, and words are tools of manifestation. When we align our words with divine intention, we become conscious co-creators of our reality. I will start by revealing the first word of power, a word that has the capacity to instantly transform your energy field. I bless. This word is not a mere expression of good wishes. It is a divine decree that activates the creative forces of the universe. When you pronounce the word, I bless, you are doing much more than expressing gratitude. You are activating a power that has been granted to you since the beginning of time. The word I bless has a unique frequency that resonates with the divine matrix of the universe. When you pronounce it consciously, you are literally altering the energy field around you. It is no coincidence that in many spiritual traditions, blessing is considered one of the most sacred acts. It is an act of pure creation. But here is the secret that few understand. When you bless, you are not just sending positive energy to others or to situations. You are activating a cycle of abundance in your own life. It is like opening a direct channel with the source of all creation. Every time you bless something or someone, the universe returns it to you multiplied. The word I bless has special power because it combines 2 fundamental elements: intention and action. It is not a passive word, it is an active decree. When you say, I bless my day, you are not just wishing for a good day, you are exercising your creative power to manifest a day full of abundance and divine synchronicities. Imagine that every situation in your life, even those that seem adverse, are opportunities to exercise this power. When you learn to bless what bothers you, what challenges you, what seems to block you, you are transforming that dense energy into a higher frequency. It is like turning lead into gold through spiritual alchemy. To use this word of power correctly, you must understand that it is not a mere mechanical repetition. Every time you say, "I bless," it must be with full awareness and from a state of unconditional love. Start your day by blessing your awakening, your body, your projects. Bless the money that comes into your life, bless the opportunities that appear, bless even the challenges because they are steps for your growth. The practice of blessing has an immediate effect on your energy field. When you bless regularly, your vibration naturally rises, and the people around you will begin to notice a change in your energy, even if they do not know exactly what is different. It is as if you carry an inner light that becomes brighter and brighter. By incorporating this word into your daily vocabulary, you are sowing seeds of abundance in the quantum field. Each blessing is like a drop of water that nourishes the garden of your manifestations. Over time, those seeds will sprout as opportunities. It is important to understand that when you bless, you are aligning yourself with the frequency of divine love. You cannot bless from fear, resentment, or lack. That is why this word has such a profound transformative power. It forces you to rise to a higher state of consciousness. It is impossible to bless and simultaneously maintain negative thoughts. When you find yourself in a challenging situation, instead of complaining or resisting, quietly repeat, "I bless this situation," and observe how the energy begins to transform. Remember that by blessing, you are exercising your power as a divine co-creator. You are not asking or begging, you are decreeing from your spiritual authority. Every time you pronounce, "I bless," you are remembering and activating that power that has always been within you. The constant practice of blessing will lead you to a state of natural gratitude and continuous abundance. It is like creating a virtuous circle where every blessing you give returns to you multiplied. So start right now, bless everything you encounter on your path, and watch how your reality begins to transform in ways you never imagined possible. Now let us go deeper into the second word of power, a word that has the capacity to alter the very fabric of reality: I decree. This word is different from any other form of manifestation because when you decree, you are not asking or suggesting. You are declaring an absolute truth from your divine authority. The power of the decree has its roots in the oldest traditions, in sacred texts. When God decrees, there is no room for doubt or negotiation. The divine decree is final, absolute, and that same power has been granted to us as spiritual beings having a human experience. When you decree, you are activating that creative power that resides within you. There is a fundamental difference between asking and decreeing that you must understand. When you ask for something, you are operating from a position of lack. You are recognizing that you do not have something and are hoping to receive it. But when you decree, you are operating from a position of power. You are not asking for something to happen. You are declaring that it is already a reality on the spiritual plane. The word "I decree" has a vibratory frequency that resonates with the creative power of the universe. When you pronounce it with full awareness and authority, you are activating the cosmic forces that transform thoughts into reality. It is like pressing the execute button in the program of the universe. There is no hesitation, no doubt, only absolute certainty. The decree works because it operates on the quantum plane of reality. At this level, thoughts and words have tangible power to reorganize matter and circumstances. When you decree something, you are sending a direct order to the quantum field, an order that must be fulfilled because it emanates from your divine power. However, many people make fundamental mistakes when decreeing. The most common is to decree from a place of doubt or fear. Remember, a decree must be pronounced with the same certainty with which you know the sun will rise tomorrow. There is no room for maybe or I hope. When you decree, it must be with the absolute conviction that what you are declaring is already a reality on the spiritual plane. Another crucial aspect of the decree is clarity. Your decrees must be specific and clear. You cannot decree from confusion or ambiguity. When you decree, you are programming the quantum field with precise instructions like writing code for a program. Every word must be exact and have a clear purpose. The power of the decree is amplified when you combine it with the right emotion. It is not enough to pronounce the words mechanically. You must feel the truth of what you are decreeing in every cell of your being. Emotion is what gives life to the decree, what charges it with the necessary power to manifest on the physical plane. Time is another important factor in the decree. Unlike a request, which implies waiting, the decree operates in the eternal now. When you decree something, you do not project it into an indefinite future. You declare it as a present reality. That is why the most effective decrees are formulated in the present tense, as if they are already manifested. The practice of decreeing requires discipline and consistency. It is not enough to decree once and expect miraculous results. Every decree must be reinforced with your daily conviction until it manifests on the physical plane. It is like planting a seed. It needs attention and constant care until it bears fruit. When you begin to use the power of the decree consciously, you are activating your role as a divine co-creator. You are not asking the universe for permission. You are exercising your divine right to create your reality. This is a sacred responsibility that must be exercised with wisdom and awareness. The word "I decree" has the power to instantly transform your relationship with manifestation. You are no longer a spiritual beggar waiting for the universe to grant your wishes. You are a master creator declaring your truths with divine authority. This change of perspective alone can revolutionize your ability to manifest. Now let's explore the third word of power, a word that has the capacity to dissolve the deepest resistances and open the channel of divine blessings. I accept. This seemingly simple word holds one of the most powerful secrets of conscious manifestation. The power of acceptance goes far beyond passive resignation. When you pronounce, "I accept," from a place of expanded awareness, you are activating a frequency that tunes your being with the natural flow of the universe. It is like opening the floodgates that have been holding back your abundance. Most people live in a constant state of resistance without realizing it. We resist what is, we resist the present moment, we resist the blessings that try to come into our lives. This resistance creates an energetic barrier that blocks the natural flow of abundance. It is like swimming against the current, wasting energy unnecessarily. When you incorporate the word "I accept" into your spiritual vocabulary, you are declaring your willingness to receive all that the universe has for you. You are not settling or giving up on your dreams. On the contrary, you are opening the necessary energetic space for your manifestations to materialize. Divine acceptance operates on multiple levels. First, you accept the present moment as it is, without resistance. This releases a huge amount of energy that was being used to fight against what is. Second, you accept your creative power and your connection with the divine source. Third, you accept that you deserve to receive all the blessings the universe has for you. The act of accepting has an immediate effect on your energy field. As if every time you pronounce, "I accept" with awareness, you are dissolving layers of accumulated resistance. These layers can be limiting thought patterns, inherited beliefs, or deep fears that have been blocking your abundance. The word "I accept" has the power to transform even situations that seem adverse. When you fully accept a situation without resistance, you give the universe space to transform it. It is paradoxical, but true transformation can only happen when we first accept what is. This conscious acceptance does not mean that you remain static or passive. On the contrary, by fully accepting where you are now, you free up the energy necessary to move to where you want to be. It is like creating a firm point of support from which you can push yourself forward. The practice of acceptance requires courage. It requires being willing to see the truth of your current situation without judging it. When you say, "I accept," with full awareness, you are choosing to see perfection in the divine plan, even when you cannot fully understand it. The power of this word is magnified when you combine it with gratitude. When you accept your current situation with gratitude, you are sending the universe a clear message. You trust the divine process. This trust opens the doors to miracles and synchronicities that could not manifest in a state of resistance. When you practice acceptance, you begin to experience a deep peace that no external circumstance can disturb. It is like finding an anchor in the midst of a storm. From this place of peace, your words and decrees become more powerful because they are no longer contaminated by resistance and fear. The word "I accept" is a key that opens the door to a new level of manifestation. It is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. Every time you pronounce it with awareness, you are declaring your willingness to receive. Now we come to the fourth word of power, a word that has the capacity to release the divine flow of abundance in your life. I allow. This word is the master key that opens doors you yourself have often closed without realizing it. The act of allowing is one of the most powerful you can exercise on your spiritual path. When you say, "I allow," from a place of elevated consciousness, you are declaring your willingness to let go of control and trust in the infinite wisdom of the universe. It is like opening the windows of a closed room to let the sunlight in. Most people live trying to control every aspect of their lives. We plan, organize, and try to force situations to fit our wishes. This excessive control, even if it comes from a good intention, often ends up blocking the blessings the universe is trying to bring us. When you incorporate the word "I allow" into your spiritual practice, you are making a profound statement to the universe. You trust the divine plan enough to let go of the reins. It is not resignation, it is spiritual wisdom. It is understanding that there is a higher intelligence that knows exactly what you need and when you need it. The difference between allowing and forcing is fundamental for understanding this word of power. When you force situations, you are operating from the ego and fear. But when you allow, you are operating from the wisdom of the soul and divine trust. It is the difference between rowing against the current and flowing with it. The art of allowing requires a different kind of faith, not blind faith, but the knowing certainty that the universe is orchestrating everything for your greatest good. This word of power also helps you to release rigidity about how things should manifest. Many times we block our blessings because we are attached to a specific form in which they should come. When you practice the art of allowing, it is like releasing a weight you have been carrying without realizing it. From this place of freedom, your manifestations flow more easily because they are no longer hindered by fear and the need for control. Now we reach the fifth and final word of power, the word that completes the sacred cycle of manifestation. I receive. This word is the final act of recognition and openness to the divine blessings that are already destined for you. Receiving is a sacred art that goes far beyond the simple act of taking something. When you pronounce, I receive, from a state of elevated consciousness, you are declaring your willingness to accept abundance as your natural state. It is a profound recognition of your divine right to experience fulfillment in all areas of your life. Most people have a complicated relationship with the act of receiving. We have been programmed to believe that it is nobler to give than to receive, that we must earn everything with effort and struggle. These beliefs create an energetic blockage that prevents the natural flow of abundance in our lives. The word I receive has a transformative power because it establishes a new relationship with the abundance of the universe. When you pronounce it with full awareness, you are declaring that you are ready to be an open channel for divine blessings. It is not selfishness. It is recognizing that the universe wants to flow through you. The act of receiving is a way to honor the divine cycle of giving and receiving. The universe is in constant movement, in an eternal flow of energy. When you refuse to receive, you are interrupting this sacred flow. It is like putting a dam in a river that needs to flow freely. When you incorporate I receive into your daily spiritual practice, you are activating a state of conscious receptivity. It is a state in which you allow yourself to be open to all the ways the universe wants to bless you, not only on the material plane but in all aspects of your life. The power of this word is amplified when you pronounce it from a state of anticipated gratitude. You are not waiting for something to arrive to be grateful. You are grateful now, knowing that the universe is already moving heaven and earth to bring you what you have decreed. I receive is the word that closes this sacred circle of manifestation. After blessing, decreeing, accepting, and allowing, the act of receiving completes the divine cycle. It is the moment when you declare your willingness to physically experience what already exists on the spiritual plane. This word has the power to transform your relationship with abundance because it puts you in a state of positive expectation, not anxiety about the future, but a calm certainty that everything that is for you will arrive at the perfect moment. Now that you know these 5 sacred words, you have in your hands the keys to transform your reality. They are not mere words, but divine codes that, when used with awareness and conviction, have the power to reprogram your energy field and manifest the life you desire. By integrating them into your life, you will notice how your reality begins to naturally align with your highest desires, as if the entire universe is conspiring to bring you exactly what you need. Every time you pronounce these words, you are activating specific frequencies that resonate with the divine matrix of creation. It is a sacred language that the universe understands and to which it responds immediately. If you have come this far, receive as always a big embrace and my best wishes, and never forget to stay awake in life.